Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? My name is Christopher J. Welcome back to another show. I just want to thank anybody who watched my last video. I really appreciate it. Anybody that liked the video, anybody that subscribed to the channel, I really appreciate it. So I'm not gonna beat around the bush today. I'm gonna jump right into it. You obviously have read the title of the video, so we're gonna talk about Kyle Rittenhouse today. And if you don't know who Kyle Rittenhouse is, he is the 17-year-old Antioch, Illinois resident that came to Kenosha of Wisconsin on April 25th. On that date in question, he shot three people. He fatally wounded two, and he severely wounded one, which the gentleman lost his arm in that situation. So these gentlemen, the first one's name was Joseph Rosenbaum, the second one's name was Anthony Hubert, and the one who was severely wounded, his name is Gage Cross. I can't even say his last name, so I apologize now, but it's very difficult name to pronounce. But on the day in question, those individuals were shot. So um, and later on, Kyle was subsequently wounded. So, but anyway, we're going to jump into this and say that I'm going to throw out a couple of details. Number one, Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's just call him Kyle. We're going to call him Kyle. Kyle does not reside in that city, so he was driven there by his mother, which is probably about a 25-minute trip, 20 miles to get there. So, and it was later learned that Kyle was there to render aid to anybody that was hurt during the protest, anybody during that, and he was also there to protect some of the businesses now. And everybody's seen the videos, everybody knows what's going on. He did have an automatic weapon. So, and I'm going to say this as well too. He's not 18, he's 17, so technically he shouldn't have never even had that weapon in his hand. So, but I digress. So we're going to go into the details of what happened, and I'm going to give you my take on everything. So on a date in question, there was a lot of protesting going on, and there was some riots going on, and there was some rioting going on, obviously, and some looting. So a lot of business owners in the area were getting looted, and Kyle was brought to that location. Like I said, he was brought there by his mother, and what he was doing was protecting the businesses, and he was going to render any assistance needed, because he is a qualified EMT. So from watching the videos, and I've seen the videos numerous times. I've seen them a bunch of times. And the first individual, Mr. Rosenbaum, that was shot, he actually, witnesses even said that he got in an argument with Kyle, and he ended up chasing him. And you can see in the video he was chasing him. He was throwing stuff at him. So it's pretty evident to me that his intent wasn't just to sit down and talk to him and explain to him that he shouldn't have the gun. Okay, I mean he was his intent was to hurt Kyle. His intent was either to do that or disarm him of his weapon, and he ended up getting shot. And I will say, from watching the video, I'm going to say that was a justified shooting. It was self-defense. So, and then the second one is going to be Anthony Hubert. Anthony Hubert, after that first shooting, Kyle ran from the scene. Apparently, he got on the phone and called somebody and said he shot somebody, and just a band of people just started chasing him down the road now. And he's 17 years old. He's still a kid, so I know he was terrified. He's running around with a gun, and he ends up getting chased by multiple people and falling down on the ground. And at that time, Mr. Hubert tried to hit him with a skateboard, and he was shot in the chest. So, and I'm going to say his intentions weren't just to, I mean, he's getting hit with a skateboard. I mean, it's going to be considered a weapon as well too. So I believe that's justified as well too. So, and the third one, the Gage individual, that's pretty obvious. I mean, the man had a gun in his hand, so his intentions were to wound him with his firearm. So, that's going to be justified as well. Now there is a spin on this, as I mentioned in the video. In the beginning, he shouldn't even been there with the weapon. So that's where the problem lays. He should have not had the firearm. Now I'm going to say, Kyle was being a patriot. He had every good intention, I think, and I think he was, doing the right thing. But at the same time, too, you have to follow laws. So the law states that you cannot carry those firearms until you're 18 years old. So he was charged with multiple charges of first degree reckless homicide, two counts of something similar charge to that, and he was also charged with the firearm charge, being under 18 and not being able to possess the firearm. So he's got a bunch of charges. I think what's going to end up happening is I think that those charges are going to be lessened as once they get to court and everything, and I'll explain why. If you're reading the charges, you're hearing intentional. You're hearing intentional. You know, they weren't pre. These weren't premeditated. These weren't premeditated cases here. Okay, these people were running up on him, and he was just protecting himself. He was protecting himself, and he had every duty to protect himself. But at the same time, he should have never had the firearm. So that's where his problem is going to be. And I would say he's probably going to get convicted of some of these charges, but they're going to be lesser charges. So, you know, like I said, he was there with every good intention, but his mother should also be accountable for what happened. She should be. She's the one that drove him there, and it was later on he turned himself in the following day. They found out who he was uh, fairly quickly, so and that was rectified. Now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk about like when the police were driving by him and everything. So everybody's all upset and like what he's a white guy and a white person with a gun and they're telling there was so much chaos going on. There was multiple people with firearms. I don't think the police were going around checking who had a license for this, who had a license for that. How old is this person? How old is that person? So, I mean, with all the stuff going on around it, there's several people running in the streets. There's all kind of crimes being committed that the police can't even handle. So that was the last thing that they were thinking. They saw him walking down the street with his hands up. I don't know what he told the officers, but for my parents, I don't really judge the police on that. He turned himself in the following day, and he's going to face his charges. So, with that being said, I think it's very unfortunate that the three people involved were injured and killed. But I do agree that he was those cases were all self defense. So, but like I said, he should have never had the firearm. He shouldn't have been there. So, but what do you think about the situation? Do you think his mom should be held accountable? Um, there's so many things going on with this. I mean, this isn't going to be as long as video as usual because it's pretty cut and dry what happened. There's video footage of what happened in the case. What's going to happen now is they're going to have to deal with the technical stuff, the stuff that's involving with the law a little more and everything and about the charges. So, but let me know what you think. I really appreciate you watching the videos. I want to hear you guys' take on these things. And as I mentioned, always, I'm not going to pull punches. I'm going to be direct and I'm going to give you my take on things. So you guys take care and be safe out there. Peace.